Space Jam. If you dance, it's a Space Jam.
Let's tell you about singing on our show.
Alright, I won't do it anymore. Alright, chair dancer, can I do that?
You can definitely do that. Right. You got way more rhythm than I do. Go for it, man.
Jam! Slam! Jam! Jam! Alright, enough of that nonsense. Hopefully we got a few noodleheads out there to laugh a little bit.
All right? We hope anyway.
Well, we hope you haven't clicked on something else by now, but anyway, alright. The reason why we played that, not only for our love of Michael Jordan, is because we are talking National Basketball Association. We're going to get to the Knicks in a little bit. We'll save it, alright, because it's really depressing. I'm in a good mood right now, and I want to stay cheerful. This is a stat that I'm really into. The triple-doubles are awesome. They're very rarely seen, especially averaged over a season. Oscar Robertson's the only one that I know about who's ever done it. LeBron James may be the only other one who could possibly do it someday, but as of right now, really double-doubles are the standard that I hold to, not necessarily NBA greatness, but if you're averaging a double-double, whether it's assists and points or rebounds and points, I think you're doing a pretty good job. So what you did is because you are awesome, and you go ahead and you go deep and you find out things and you did some serious research. You got some guys who are averaging double-doubles right now, some who are on the cusp, and the list is pretty interesting. Some names that you really wouldn't think may be on there.
It is, and I just want to add in before while we're discussing triple-doubles, I believe my boy, one of my favorite all-time basketball players, Mr. Jason Kidd, I think he actually might have the most total triple-doubles in terms of number of actually doing it in a game. In history.
Yeah, he was a triple-double machine, especially with the Nets for a while. He was great. And the two championship games.
And very early when he got to Dallas. And then additionally, Rajon Rondo, especially the game he had against the Knicks last week.
What an unbelievable triple-double. I mean, that was, you're talking like 2017 and 15.
It was almost 20 across the board.
I mean, that's ridiculous.
But he also seems to have a little knack for the triple-double himself, like along the lines of Jason Kidd, not quite there, but... And both of those guys, specifically Rondo and Kidd, are very capable of making a fourth category in their occasion with the steals. Both of them are super good steals.
Great athletes, great players.
Absolutely.
And we're going to talk a little more Rondo later when we get into point guards and things like that. But for
plus, he's almost on this list, too.
He is, actually, yeah. So the guys all over the place. Celtics, you probably shouldn't trade him unless you want to give him to the Knicks.
Yeah, and if you do trade him, I find it hard to believe you're going to get equal value.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Yeah. So anyway, without further ado, here's where we're at with the double-doubles. Funny, interesting, of the guys who qualified today, of actually averaging today, because some of them, like we said, are on the cusp.
Right.
There's only one guard on the entire list.
Amazing, right?
One guard.
Amazing.
And it's Steve Nash.
Steve Nash. Still doing it.
At the ripe old age of, I think, 38
yep,
or 39.
He's 38 years old.
With almost 14 points and 11 assists.
That's fantastic, isn't that? And who does he have on his team? Go ahead, name two players real quick. You can't, okay? Because he's doing it by himself.
Yeah, he's pretty much doing it by himself. He's like a one-man band, and it's amazing. We'll try touching this with the Knicks, but clearly, I don't want to go on my rant just yet about the coach of the New York Knicks, but I'm starting to think that the Suns' success a few years ago had a lot more to do with that point guard than it did
Totally
D'Antoni.
agree. Totally
we'll
agree.
get back to that.
Floor general.
Yeah. If there ever was one.
Yep.
Okay, so the rest of them are forwards or centers, and the two biggest ones there in terms of just numbers that just leap out off the page are Dwight Howard and Kevin Love.
Great numbers.
So Dwight Howard's got 20 and 15. Kevin Love's got almost 25 and almost 14 rebounds a game.
Your guy.
That's my guy.
Great call on him.
That's my guy. And while I was making this list, there was a game last week where the Clippers.
Against Clippers,
the Clippers played the Wolves, which is a really good game in terms of the youth movement of the NBA. And in that game, Kevin Love had 39 and 17, and Blake Griffin had 26 and 12.
Who's also on the
Who's also on and that's why I was even saying that. But I mean, if that doesn't show that the spectacularness of these two power forwards, I don't know what will. But so he's a little bit further down the list. He's got 21 and 11, Blake. Then you have a center. A guy named Andrew Bynum.
Yep. You would expect a guy like that, to be on the list, given how big he is. He can get the points down low. He can get the rebounds for sure. So, and again, the rest of these guys are rebounds, points guys.
Right. Exactly. The rest of the second category is the rebounds. He's got 16, almost 13. I find it interesting of the old Howard and Bynum trade talk. But I'll say this: the major issue with that trade talk is Bynum going to stay on the court long enough to realize those numbers?
Yeah, really. Yeah, good point. Yeah, he's always getting hurt. Guys, always getting hurt. If he can stay healthy and play, 80, 82 games a year, he can put up Dwight Howard type of numbers.
And then a guy I love to discuss, and I'll let you handle it first, but we got DeMarcus Cousins.
Yeah, DeMarcus Cousins. I had a little issue with him with his attitude. I just don't like the attitude and the body language he displays on the court. It really bothers me. I'm not going to get into personal things. It's not what we do here on the show. Don't know him personally, but the guy's got all the talent in the world. I think he was a second draft pick a couple of years ago. And look, the guy can be a great player if he's willing to buy into the team and have the team concept and not be a me kind of person. And he's on the list because he's an awesome basketball player.
And he's got about 16.5 and about 11.5. Yeah. And just my thoughts on that is, and I've already addressed this on our show, but his attitude needs to change. He needs to be a better teammate, because when you see teammates reacting to him in a way that doesn't look supportive, there's a big issue there.
It's a problem.
And if that doesn't change, he even demanded a trade this year, which doesn't lend well to that whole, being a team guy anyway. But
the one thing I will say though, the one thing I'll say, Craig, is that he's a young kid. And I remember back when I was in my early 20s, 21 years old, 22, I wasn't thinking right either. Sometimes you need a mentor. Maybe
I was not.
So again, he's young. Hopefully, he'll get things together and get it right.
But one last thing I'll add with him is, there's few guys you see at that age or in the league that are having this much success that do act like that. Like he is a rare person in regards to that.
That's true.
But like I said, DeMarcus, I love you, bro. Just pick it up, man.
Yeah.
Pick it up. Everything's gonna be cool. We understand you're competitive. Rock on, man.
Speaking of hate, I don't have any hate.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm take that. Thank you.
Well, I don't know why. This whole Chris Humphries thing, just lay off the guy and let him play basketball. He is booed everywhere he goes and taunted, and he's averaging a double-double this season.
And additionally, he's got a trophy piece that most people don't have the ability to say.
Yes, that's right.
And I'm not going to go any more into that other than people understand that he's got a trophy piece.
Yeah, pure jealousy. So
he's got but he's got 13 and almost 11 boards a game. He's pretty much a double-double machine himself.
He's on the list to round it out a little bit. The Gasol brothers are on.
The Gasol brothers, yep. And then you have one guy who you can also name from Steve Nash's team, Marcin Gortat.
How about that? You see, now there's one of those names that you wouldn't expect to be on the list.
He got 16 and 10.
I like that.
16 and 10. So just to wrap that aspect of it up, before we get into the guys that aren't on the list, which I found a little bit head-scratching, you got guys on the cusp. Those guys are, and I'll just rattle them off. You got Rondo, who's got 14 and just under 10 assists. So he's right there. You got Tyson Chandler, who you and I have expressed our love for this guy. As bad as the Knicks are, he is the one bright, shining star all year long.
All year. Solid, consistent.
Leadership at just under 12 and just under 10 boards. Another former Knick has got 19 points and just under 10 rebounds is Mr. David Lee, Mr. Ambidextrous himself. Yeah. Well, loved it. I miss David Lee.
Yeah, me too. People said when he went over to Golden State that we would see what kind of player he really is, which isn't much, but no.
Still a double-double machine.
Still double-double machine. The guy can play.
And then a guy who's on a really good team, who's somewhat undervalued, I think, and more of the Dennis Rodman ilk. Joakim Noah has got 9.5 points and just over 10
I like
points.
how you compared him to Dennis Rodman. I like that. Tough player, rebound, a defensive guy, willing to do the dirty work, same team, I like that. That's a good comparison. Yeah. That's pretty good.
And then moving on to I thought it would be interesting to know the superstars out there at particular positions who are nowhere near the double-double. The one that was the biggest head scratcher for me is Dirk Nowitzki's averaging less than 7 rebounds a game.
You think a 7-footer would be able to grab at least 8, 9 boards a game at the very least, but not even to have 7?
Yeah, and I don't know exactly what Amari's numbers are in the rebounds, but he's pretty guilty of that too.
Maybe that's why I should give you, really your props, because I had Dirk as my #1 power forward in the league, and maybe Kevin Love, maybe he's taking him over. So good call by you.
And I understand the numbers are going to alter a little bit in Miami. Because LeBron, like you alluded to before, gets a lot of rebounds and stuff, but Bosch is at 18.5 and 8 rebounds a game. Then you got CP3, who we both agree is the best. What's it? Our guy.
Yeah,
we both agree.
My MVP. You got Durant.
I do got Durant. Well, I mean, he's not on this list at all, which is interesting. Yeah. He's just a point scoring machine. He does a little bit of the other things too. He's also a great leader.
He's a great leader. He's clutch. No knocking Durant.
And he's very well and soft spoken, which you love.
Look, Kobe's not on the list, and neither is Dwayne Wade, so it doesn't.
That's true too.
They just do different things.
And then Deron Williams, 22 points and 8 assists. I mean, that's still great.
That's
Him
great.
and CP3 at 19 and 8 and 22 and 8 are still awesome. Tony Parker, 19 and 8.
That's pretty good.
And then you got Westbrook, a point guard. Is he or isn't he a point guard?
He's not even averaging what?
Coming in at 5.5 assists.
Not even 6 assists, you know. But you know what? Look, hey, they were winning, so what can we really say?
Right.
I mean, if they go ahead and they win a championship, especially, he can have 0 assists. It really doesn't make a difference.
But I mean, the point is we thought this sort of statistic or this grouping is kind of reflective of the better guys that are out there.
No doubt about it. It shows you the hard workers, especially the guys who are willing to grab the rebounds and, you know, who can also score. You know, it shows that you can play at both ends of the floor.
Right.
So, you know, we found it interesting to kind of note the double-double guys out there. We mentioned Durant and Wade are not double-double guys. LeBron is a close to a triple-double kind of guy. Now you're talking about 3 of the best players in the league who play on 2 of the best teams in the NBA. No doubt about it. So, look, again, I predicted them to go to the NBA Finals in the beginning of the year. It's looking more evident than that happening right now by far. You got your best 6th man in the league, Harden, coming off the bench. Things are just looking really good for Oklahoma. Things are looking really good for Miami. Do you see either one of them taking over in either conference? Anybody taking over Oklahoma City in the West, or anybody taking over the Heat in the East? It's not going to be the Knicks.
Are you asking? Well, let's just let it simmer a little bit more. Are we talking playoffs or are we talking regular season?
No, we're talking look, in the regular season they seem to be the best, but I think they're both going all the way, so can anybody stop them, is what I'm saying.
I think anyone can stop anyone on any given day.
But the thing is that there isn't a given day.
Right.
All right.
And also, my issue on Miami's side is, could they be taken over by Chicago? Maybe. Could Philly get them? Probably not. Could Boston get them? I don't know. I guess that's up to be, you know, that's still to be determined.
Miami had their way with them last year.
They did, but the thing that sticks in my mind is until I see it, I still don't believe it. And I mean, and it's not his team per se, and that's debatable also. But LeBron, man, I mean, as much as when he's on the team, I'm just concerned they're not going to get there again. I don't know, man.
I hear you.
And I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm just trying to be real with it. Like, he just seems to come very not clutch when the time calls for it. As far as Oklahoma City goes, I think this is their year to at least get there, if not win the whole thing.
I'm with you.
I mean, their team is just, they are 4 strong, 4 of the strongest strong with Ibaka, Westbrook, Harden, and Durant. I mean, Harden's on the bench.
Yeah.
And he's a beast.
They'll be the 6th man.
So, yeah, I mean, could they be stopped? Maybe. I don't know.
I want to say about LeBron, I was talking to some of my Florida friends a couple of days ago, actually, and I told them that, you know, Wade, with his injury proneness, if he's not going to be fully healthy come playoff time, that LeBron won't be able to do. He won't be able to take them to where they need to go. So, I had a friend tweeted me this morning. He goes, so what do you think about the Miami Heat finish last night? Because LeBron hit a 3-pointer with 10 seconds left, and then Wade hit some unbelievable acrobatic shot to win the game, which was incredible. Yeah. So, my response to him, I said, LeBron closed his eyes, and Wade closed the game.
And that is very true, and that's well said.
That's what goes on over there. Wade, and there's no doubt that he had the ball at the end in order to win the game.
And I will tease the viewers for a segment. We'll do it at some later date in terms of some of the best combos or duos in history, but the 2 of them, man, but their transition alley-oops and
it's remarkable.
Their teamwork around, you know, on fast breaks is
and even on defense, how quick they get to the ball.
It may be second to none.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It is really good.
Ridiculous.
It's really good.
We have to unfortunately rant a little bit. We have a few minutes left. Look, the Knicks are just killing us now. I mean, if you were watching our show a couple of weeks ago, we couldn't be more ecstatic about anything in the world. Jeremy Lin, you know, Tyson Chandler, we super love. Fields is playing great, and some of those guys still are playing, you know, pretty well. You know, I like Shumpert's addition, but collectively, wow, Craig, this is bad. I mean, this is really, really bad. I don't know what else to say without cursing. So can you please help out a little bit and explain what's happening?
I'll make a couple points before I break it down. Number one is we clearly have changed our set to put up my Syracuse orange.
Yeah.
Because that'll be coming up soon. Because this is my team. And
I don't want this in front of me.
But we felt inclined to at least show proper respect and left them on the set. So the Knicks are still here. Number 2, like I said in the last segment at the end of it, they are, and you I think even put up somewhere on one of the social networking sites that they're becoming very difficult to watch.
Oh yeah.
I actually, for the first time think about this now, over 2 years, so this is long before Melo, I found myself 2 nights, the 2 games ago, the game against the Bucks? No, it was actually the game against the Spurs. I DVR these things usually because there's so much thing going on. And I fast-forwarded most of the second half because I couldn't bear watching it anymore. They are starting to look like the bad news bears of basketball. The turnover situation, these aren't forced turnovers. This is just recklessness on the court.
That's exactly. It's reckless and sloppy. You got it. That's exactly what. There is no continuity or flow to this offense at all. So look, when you have all these sort of
hold on, back up. Repeat that.
There is no continuity or flow to this offense.
To the what?
Off.
Weren't they supposed to be good at offense at the very least?
Yeah, that was supposed to be our thing. D'Antoni, 7 seconds or less, score 130 points.
But at least the offense. We'll get to the defense, but at least the offense could be halfway decent. The offense it's a travesty.
It really is. And the thing is, you have all these athletes. You got Amari.
Words I want to say about.
I know, really. I know. We're gonna have to go on the Sirius Radio. Otherwise, we're gonna have to have a bleeping section over here. But look, you got Carmelo Anthony, who's an excellent basketball player, in my opinion. No doubt about it. Amari, there's something wrong with him. Tyson Chandler, a champion from last year. Baron Davis. You got a bunch of great players, I should say. Key pieces, awesome athletes who should be able to win. What they need is a coach to put it together. Because D'Antoni, and I don't have anything against him as a person, but he doesn't know what to do with these stars and how to make them work together as a group.
Yeah, and I'll say this, man. Like, I've always had like a thing for the Suns. Especially loved watching Nash, and I loved watching that team when he was there. And I was excited to see him as a Knicks coach. I really was. And people have been calling for his head. And one of the things that bothers me most is they've been saying since February of last year. We're now in March of this year, so we're like 13 months later. Give it time. They got to mesh. Give it time. They got to mesh. Well, how long is enough time to get a team to mesh?
Yeah, exactly.
When is enough? And just to belay the point, I got very frustrated the other night because of all people, and this is going to sound crazy, and he's proven to be more valuable every day. He's not a stat guy like we just went into, but Jared Jeffrey's value to that team is innumerable.
Yes.
And the fact that he's hurt, which I didn't realize when I was venting, but here's the point I'm making. You have him and Chandler out in the same game, and out of nowhere, Shumpert got no minutes. He got like 5 minutes the other day. And Shumpert's offense, does he get a little carried away sometimes? Yeah, he's young, he's a rookie. But you know what you can't take away from him is his defense. Right. And for a team that should be better offensively, the one thing they clearly need to be better at is defense. And they have 3 good defenders on that team. It's Jeffries, it's Chandler, and it's Shumpert. Yep. And if Shumpert's not on the floor more than at least 20 to 25 to 30 minutes a game, there's something wrong. And J.R. Smith, we've discussed him a couple times.
Yes.
J.R. Smith, pretty good defender. Pretty good defender. He should not be ever. I should never see him again in the Knicks starting lineup. He's best suited to be an energizer, bench, come in and score some points. Right. And he certainly, if the option is him or Shumpert, should not be on the court because I don't know if and I'm saying this objectively, I hope anyway, that I've seen one of the better on-the-ball defenders that I've seen in many years in Iman Shumpert.
Oh, he's excellent.
He's excellent.
Yeah, he's a great defender.
And you would think D'Antoni, of all things, to know he wasn't hurt. To play this guy more than 5 minutes he got against the Bucks.
D'Antoni's a problem. There's no doubt.
5 minutes.
I called out a couple of guys' names, Phil Jackson, Jerry Sloan. Either one of them, please, I'm begging you, calm down and help us out. Because we got stars, we're ready to win championships, we just need somebody to put it together. We didn't mention Jeremy Lin's name at all. We're going to wrap it up here in a second. Look, I know he burst onto the scene, came out of nowhere and played great and everything. And look, it's not his fault, but clearly he is regressing, or it's that other teams are figuring him out more. But the turnovers are they're just still an issue. And the defenses are basically trapping him when he gets around to the top of the key, middle of the paint sort of area. He doesn't know what to do. So again, it goes back to coaching. D'Antoni, figure it out. Get him in the right spot. Get the ball moving around. It's just not working. They've got great players. They have great athletes. They don't have the right coach, and that is it.
I'm just going to wrap up by saying this. I don't know if it's a regression or if it's the other teams keying on him. The turnover situation is bad, but it's not as bad as it looks. He's throwing some good passes. The guys, Amari and Chandler namely, and obviously this is the one thing I say about Chandler, they're dropping really good passes. And the same trait that makes him a really good passer at times is the same trait that's going to make him throw turnovers. It's just going to happen.
Like a Brett Favre trying to fit it in tight spots.
Exactly.
He'll throw the touchdown, but maybe he'll throw the...
The major difference there, though, is this guy is well-educated, he's got a good brain, and he's going to get better. There's no doubt he's going to get better.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not blaming him.
Yeah, he's going to get better.
I'm not throwing blame on him. It's just that...
But D'Antoni's a point guard guy. Fix it.
You got to fix it. You got to
fix it. We're tired of it. We're tired. We're Knicks fans, and it's brutal.
Yeah, and I'm tired of talking about it. So let's take a little break, and we'll come back for segment 3. We're going to mix it up with a whole bunch of different stuff. We'll put in a little baseball. We'll do a little MMA. You know, still a little more. I want to get into point guard action. Maybe rank up point guards a little bit because that's definitely a hot topic. Absolutely. So we'll come back. Kids, stay safe. Look both ways before crossing the street.
And check out the website, www.rupasports.com.
Always.
Check us out, and we will be seeing you soon.
You got it. Later.